and leadership that defines the Dallas Cowboys will continue to inspire our community and beyond. To this year's rookie class, we've seen you out on the field working hard every day, and we're excited for your journey ahead. We wish you the very best as you begin your professional career, just as I did 27 years ago. Welcome to the Cowboy family, and thank you for letting us be a part of this moment. Thank you, and go Cowboys.
Come here again.
Thank you again, Erica, for getting us started this evening. Who's ready to talk a little bit about the 2025 NFL Draft? Let me welcome to the stage Vice President of Player Personnel and one of the front office members for your Dallas Cowboys, Will McClay. Give you a handshake there. Okay. A couple times. We didn't got a hot out of buttons. All right, Will. Well, first off, there's been a lot of positivity around the building with a new head coach, new coaching staff, Brian Schottenheimer taking over, and there's a lot of excitement and a lot of talk around culture. For those that may not know, what is culture and why is it important to a team like the Dallas Cowboys?
It's a group of people working together and believing in something and believing in each other. And that's it sounds simple. It's what we're supposed to do. We get in the huddle, we get in the locker room, we do all that stuff. But this is the time in the off season where you build that. Shotty's bringing that in such a good way where guys, they're being vulnerable with each other and understanding, some of the rough stuff and, where they come from and the stories and, forming a bond that way.
And it seems like that bond has not only taken place on the field with the players, but with the scouting department and the entire front office. How has Brian kind of brought a new mentality and challenged you guys in a new way through the offseason, getting ready for the NFL draft?
Coach Shotty comes in with a different kind of perspective because he was here. So he understands our building and knows the people here. So the one thing he's done is challenged us all to be at a point where we're all fighting for the same thing together. And when you have meetings, when you talk about it, when you're honest and you have these honest conversations, like we do in the draft, one of the things we do is everybody gets in, we get to have this conversation, we get to argue about it, and then we get to come to a conclusion, and it's our conclusion, our decision.
So that's unique in its own right, like you said. Normally, if it's a new coaching staff, it's a completely new coaching staff, and a lot of it is. But with Schottenheimer being able to carry that over, how much did that help you guys achieve what you did this offseason and building this roster?
I think it was really good because there was a plan offensively and defensively. Every year you come into the draft and you know what you're looking for. We attacked it in the offseason, and then we went into the draft with a plan. And Coach Schottenheimer and Coach Eberflus talked about the things that they wanted. And what we did was we went out and found it, and we went over it and over it and over it again. And we spent so much time with them. Like the coaching staff came out to the combine. We met at the combine, and we continued to extend these meetings. And so what we did was we got on the same page. And it's the coaching staff that he brought in. Coach Schottenheimer came in here. He didn't just bring in coaches that he was friends with because he's been coaching a long time. He went out to find the best and the guys to challenge our players and get the best out of them. We have some guys that have coached in college before, guys that have been in different spots, and excited to see these guys work.
And what was the influence like on the type of prospect that you guys were looking to acquire this offseason?
We're always hopefully looking to get good players. It's just when a new staff comes in, they're looking for these little spices and seeing if we could find those, identify those, and give them the right value. But really the big thing that we talked about is guys being competitive. We always talk about it, but we overemphasized it. And everything that we do is about competing, and that's how guys get better.
And you're going to hear us ask the rookies about this in a couple of moments, but competition every day has been a theme this offseason. Have you gotten wrapped up in any of the competitions so far? Any video games or ping pong or basket shooting competitions yet?
I beat Coach Shotty every chance I get in anything.
What was the last event that you beat him in?
Basketball, probably.
Nice. Okay. Just free throw shooting, or are we saying one-on-one here?
No, free throw shooting.
Okay. You're not posting up?
No, we're too old.
Okay. What makes this draft class special? You had a ton of picks. You had 9 undrafted free agents that you feel really, really good about. And you built this roster to a point where Cowboys fans are starting to see the vision and see the excitement around them.
I think what's different about this class is that it's the class this year. They've got the same struggles and things that they have to go through that every draft class goes through. I'm excited about them getting the opportunity. It's actually, I've heard it from too many people. The group of young men that we have, they're really good football players and they're really good people. And that's where it starts as you build that connection. Guys rely on each other. They're good people. You can count on it. We can get through the tough times together because there's 17 games. There's going to be some tough times, but you got to rely on each other.
How tough has it been for you guys to continue to look for that type of person and the type of competitive nature and the type of people that you drafted this year in this new era of collegiate athletics with NIL, transfer portal, and all the different challenges thrown your way?
It's been a challenge. We have players that transfers to 2-3 different schools. There are some guys that were 24, 25 years old that came out this year. But what it's done is what we've had to do is dig further. When you draft a guy that's been to 2 or 3 different schools, the schools that he's at now, they're going to tell you all the good stuff. So it's continuing to dig, and it's the work of all the scouts of digging all that stuff out and then bringing it to the table, us finding out who the guys are. And then, there's 1,000 guys in the draft. 250 something get drafted. You really like 10, 12, 15 of them. And we feel like we got the guys that we really liked as we went through the draft.
And we can't wait to see them practice a little bit more next week, mini camp, and then it's on to Oxnard, California, and training camp coming up in a couple of months. Will, thanks for taking some time. As always, it's always a pleasure getting to hear your side of things. Everybody give it up for Vice President of Player Personnel, Will McClung. All right, as we continue on and keep things rolling, let me welcome to the stage one of my good friends and a 9-year NFL vet. He's a wine connoisseur as well. This is my good friend, Barry Church, everybody, former Dallas Cowboys safety.
Hey, what's going on? What's going on? The wine connoisseur part, that's a little false.
Whatever. You're just talking about Italy like 10 minutes ago.
This is true. This is true.
Yeah. So, Barry, this is his first time hosting this event.
Yes, indeed.
And it's special to get to talk to former Cowboys that are up here because you once felt the type of feeling that they are having. First year jitters, the rookie year, either undrafted or as a draft pick, there's still that little butterfly feeling. What's it like going into your first training camp and that mentality?
Well, you are completely right about that. I mean, the butterflies are going to be there. I mean, you understand coming into this whole new atmosphere, you're on a professional level. And for me, once I got on that football field and between the lines, I realized that, hey, these guys put their shoes on just like me. They put their pants on just like me. Now it's time for me to go out there and try to earn a spot. And for me, being an undrafted guy, I knew I had a long road to go. So each and every practice, each and every, scrimmage we had, I had to make sure the coaches noticed something about me, whether it's this guy, he knows the playbook or he hits really hard or he can cover. It was just something I had to show the coaches in order to make the team. And so for me, each and every practice was like a tryout to make the team. And I was blessed to be able to be in that National Football League for 9 years.
9 whole years. Barry Church, former Dallas Cowboys safety. And like he said, he's a testament that undrafted free agents can certainly make the roster as well. So before we get to meet the 2025 draft class, let's introduce the 9 members of this year's rookie free agent class. And when I say these names, I need a roar like they just scored a touchdown on Sundays. Can we do that?
Let's do it.
Get a little
Let's do it
here. We're going to start things off by a linebacker out of Syracuse, Justin Barron.
Where's he coming from? There we go. There's Justin.
Next up, corner from Kentucky, Zion Childress.
What's good, big dog?
Safety from Syracuse, Elijah Clark.
Yeah. Safety crew. We love it. We love it.
Tight end out of Auburn, Rivaldo Fairweather. I heard at least one War Eagle as we were up there. I heard one while they were up there. Corner from Stephen F. Austin, Bruce Harmon. Wide receiver out of Oregon, Trayshawn Holden. Wide receiver out of Texas Tech, Josh Kelly.
Yeah.
Tight end from Virginia, Tyler Neville.
Woo!
I can't blow by my man.
Almost got it. Safety out of Eastern Kentucky, Mike Smith.
Woo! Love it.
Once again, let's give it up for the 2025 undrafted class for your Dallas Cowboys. Remember these faces because they will be one of your favorite players very, very soon as they continue toward Oxnard minicamp next week and getting ready to make the team for your Dallas Cowboys. All right, now we would like to introduce the 2025 Dallas Cowboys rookie draft class. Can you guys make some noise? Starting with defensive tackle from Maryland, Tommy Akingbasote. Running back from Clemson, Phil Maffa. Defensive tackle from UCLA, Jay Toria.
Yeah.
Tackle from Oregon, Ajani Cornelius.
John.
Linebacker from Florida, Shamar James. Running back from the University of Texas, Jaden Blue. Corner from East Carolina, Savone Rebel.
Yeah.
Defensive end from Boston College, Donovan Ezraku.
Hey.
And last but certainly not least, the first round pick, guard from Alabama, Tyler Booker. Your 2025 rookie draft class for the Dallas Cowboys, everybody.
Good looking class. Huh?
It's a great looking class. We've gotten to know a couple of these guys over these last couple of weeks. The one thing I will say about this class is there's a lot of personality. There's a lot of personality, individuals across the board. And I want to just say we've had some great moments up here the last couple of years. We've had DeMarvin and Overshone get up here and sing before. We've had Maris Leofold get up and sing before.
Great voice.
A couple linebackers over the last 2 years. We only have one linebacker in this draft class, and that's Shamar James. So you can't sing.
You get the vocal scores? Oh, man.
So
All right.
you're not going to sing. We won't ask you to do so. But that's the number one thing I wanted to point out is that the linebackers the last couple of years have represented. So we're excited to have you here, Shamar, as always. Let's start with Tyler over here. Tyler, just tell us what it's been like the first couple months. It's been a whirlwind, I'm sure, from April until now. But your first impression of being a Dallas Cowboy.
Man, I just love being a Dallas Cowboy first and foremost. I actually did my combine training out here in Dallas and just living in the area for those few weeks and just driving around and be like, man, it'd be pretty cool to live in Dallas. And luckily the Lord worked it out for me to be a Dallas Cowboy. So it's truly been a blessing to now be here officially going through OTAs, learning and playing with some of my teammates, getting used to them. It's really just been a dream come true, to be honest with you.
So, I didn't get to experience the draft and all that good stuff. I was undrafted, but how was that? Like, how was that whole process going through it? And then draft day, you hear your name called. What emotions were going through your mind when you found out that you were going to be a Dallas Cowboy?
No, yeah, it was super cool. And I was a lot calmer than most on draft day just because I knew that I had done everything. I did the combine. I played really well at Alabama for 3 years. My character was really well known amongst everyone. So I know the work had been done, and that was just meant for me to enjoy that time with my family and say, like, look, y'all, like, look how far we've come. So I really enjoyed draft week to finally get that call. They made me wait a little bit. So I don't know if everybody knows, but when you're in that green room, people, so like, let's say like on TV, they're on pick 5, pick 7 is already on the phone. So I'm just sitting there and I see a minute and 30 seconds left. I'm like, man, I really want to go to Dallas. And my agent, Nicole, she was like, look at your phone. I was like, oh, they called me. I finally got the call. But man, I was super excited. I'm very blessed to be here.
Now, you talked about wanting to go to Dallas. What made Dallas stick out during your training, and why was being in the Metroplex what you wanted for yourself?
Well, to be honest with you, the thought of no state income tax really.
Oh yeah.
You're saying that to the right crowd.
Yeah.
You were in the right spot to say that one.
But yeah, a more football-based answer is just how much this area, how much really the state of Texas cares about football. Like I'm born and raised in New Haven, Connecticut, and I went to the University of Alabama because I wanted to go somewhere where they actually cared and love football, and you could definitely feel that same vibe here. So to be somewhere where they actually care about football is different, and you could just feel it. And then also just being a Dallas Cowboy, just watching Dallas as I was growing up, you just see that all those great offensive lines that Dallas has. So for me to be a part of a great offensive line fraternity like that is just it gives me something to look forward to and goals to set for myself to be regarded as some of the greatest. Just like coming after Zach, and I was able to meet Tyron last week. So just being able to be immersed within that fraternity is really cool.
It's awesome to have that continued, and that's kind of the camaraderie of the offensive line, right? It's a legacy here, and they've had such great success in the past with their offensive linemen. Now, as I was getting ready for this event, I got asked multiple times, are the turtles in Dallas yet?
Not yet.
Tell us a little bit about your pet turtles.
So the turtle story starts back again when I was in Dallas before. So Dallas will forever hold a special place in my heart because that's where I got my 2 babies at. So
And what were the names?
So Turquavion,
Run that thing.
and then Trina.
And Trina.
Yes.
Trina got some popularity during draft time.
Oh yeah, Trina's super popular. Unfortunately, Turquavion passed away, but Trina's still doing really well. But I would just get back home from combine training and be like, man, I'm bored. Like I have nothing to do. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get 2 turtles. So I went to the Serpentarium. I think it was about 10 minutes from here. They had one. So Trina, she was actually on top, and she like actually crawled up to me. I was like, oh yeah, she's mine. And then they were like, well, she has a sibling in there too. Like, do you want to get him too? I was like, well, I got to. Now you can't split up a family. So.
Jay, do you have any pets? You didn't bring any turtles or anything? No? Not this time around?
Nah, never.
Now, one thing that Tyler has seen, because he's played in the Southeastern Conference and he's played down south through the majority of the career, is how warm it gets down here during the summer. Donovan Ezraku played at Boston College. Are you ready for the summer heat that is in Texas? Are you ready for this?
So I was just having a conversation upstairs, and I was like, yeah, it's been, last week, it was really hot week. Hey, like, you haven't said anything yet. I'm like, good thing,
Wow.
we start fall camp in Oxnard, California, so I think I'll be.
Oxnard's different.
Yeah.
And you get back out here for a little bit, and it's nice and hot in the middle of August. Fluids are important.
Yeah.
Make sure and hydrate and get through it. I'm sure Bill O'Brien told you once or twice.
Yeah, all that.
About it all. What's been the biggest thing for you so far being down here in Dallas?
It's been a very, very, very good transition and experience for me, honestly. I kind of didn't have a similar story to T-Book, but I had no idea I was going to be down here in the first place. And when I saw my phone ring on draft night and it said the star, like what is the star? And I answered it. Somebody named Mr. Jerry Jones answered the phone.
I've heard of him before.
So it's a very, 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 very great experience. It's been a blessing being here so far, transitioning from BC to here, meeting great guys. I think we have a very, very, very good rookie class, and I'm excited for the future.
So you like to come off the edge and sacking the quarterbacks and all that. We understand that. Is there someone either here with the Cowboys or currently playing in NFL, or could be in the past, that you would kind of model your game after?
Yeah, I of course, I've watched tape for the guy that's here on the other side.
Yeah, he's a beast.
He's a beast. But I've watched, Von Miller's been in the league since I started playing football, which is crazy because, we're in the same league now. Many other guys, DeMarcus Ware, a legend. But I study a lot of guys. I try to take different and small bits and pieces from everybody just to, kind of add it to my game in a way.
Make it your own, right? Here we go.
And the defense is a brotherhood, just like we talked about with the offensive line. I mean, all three of these guys that are sitting up here in the front for sure. I mean, Ezraku, James, Toya, Rebel. I mean, any of the guys that are on the defense, you've already met with Eberflus. You've gotten to make that connection. I mean, he really wants you guys to be close and for it to be complimentary. How much, Shamar, has that changed from maybe your past coaching now that you've gotten into the NFL?
Yeah, so Coach Flus, like you said, he's real big on like knowing the guy next to you, like personally, like outside of this facility. So I mean, I would say that's a little unique for me because everybody think it's just football that's gonna win you games when you come in the facility, but really it's when I'm getting to know Dono outside of the facility, when I get to know what makes him tick, what makes him go. So I feel like that's a special idea to come up with as a defensive coordinator.
What makes linebackers really successful, right? Really good defensive tackles too.
Yes,
so
sir.
I want you to tell me something about Jay that maybe somebody doesn't know out here.
Jay has a fiance, a wife, fiance.
Fiance, wife?
Yeah, girl. Well,
Okay.
soon to be. I'm probably going through this shortly, but yeah, Jay has a significant other that he loves very much, and
That's awesome.
And yeah, so that's something I learned about Jay.
We're all learning. Jay, is this right?
Yeah.
Where did you meet?
My girl?
Yeah.
At a church conference
Very
in LA. Yeah, there we go.
You hear all the girls out here. I get to see the real side of football. That's awesome. That's good stuff. Savone over here played at East Carolina. You're coming off of an injury, but all things are looking good, right?
Yeah.
What's kind of the rehab process been like for you as you continue to get ready for the season?
I tore my ACL back in September last year. I had surgery October 15th. So I've been in Dallas for about 8 months. So after that, I guess after my surgery, I'm on the 7th month right now. So, the process, you're going in and out of a lot of things. And, we had the 30 visits, you had the combine, then you had the meetings, Zoom calls and everything. So that was kind of interfering with what I had going on. But at the end of the day, I knew I had to deal with it, talk to myself, talk to my family, talk to God, the man, the Savior that brought me down here, and do what I got to do, and place my own circle. Built my own circle, surrounding myself around people that wanted me to be my best, and that gave me positive energy to just keep going, not getting down on myself, not going in a room thinking I'm not going to play football no more. Just taking it to myself, because at the end of the day, you got to be available for yourself to do better. So that's kind of my role.
So, well, you got one of the best training staffs in all of football.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I've spent plenty of time back there with Brett Brown and Jim Maurer and those guys. But what type of mindset do you have to have when you're attacking a rehab such as an ACL?
I mean, you gotta attack every day like you're hungry.
Yeah,
like you gotta attack every day like you're not the starter. You know what I mean? You gotta want to do it. Not do it because you gotta do it. You gotta want to do it.
100%.
That's what a lot of coaches has instilled inside of me, and I've worked my way up to that and as a person being self-motivated. So I just go every day and continue to do what I do, and whatever they say, they ain't telling me nothing wrong. And I work for other legends and other players. So I'm gonna take their note, key in on myself, and do what I got to do.
It's awesome. And it's not the only time you've had to overcome some adversity, too. I know you have a background as an Amazon truck driver, right?
Yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit about the Amazon truck? What happened there? Why did you end up doing that? And where did it lead?
Hey, y'all might need to grab some popcorn because
okay.
I told the story a million times. But I ended up at Amazon pretty much. This is more for the younger generation and stuff like that. I don't know if y'all in here, but as I started high school, I wasn't the best student. I was always a good person though. But when it came to I was always a little guy. So after football practice, I try to get some weight room, lifting in and everything. Ain't know nothing about recovery. So I go back the next day thinking I can do the same weight now. But so my freshman and sophomore year, ain't have the greatest grades. So the toughest thing my high school career was knowing that 11th, 12th grade year I wasn't eligible, or I wasn't I was a non-qualifier going into college. So that's kind of where Amazon kind of kicked in, because I'm a kind of person. I like to stay productive. I like to move around. I like to always be doing something to keep my mind going. So I got that Amazon job. You know, my dad was doing his research. I continued to work out in front of my mom yard, her back in the backyard, my dad's man cave. Brought up some weights upstairs to do some lunges, some squats. That's the only thing I could use at that time while I was working at Amazon. So I'm keep it a little brief. Amazon came with the Lewisburg. My dad called me one day. He was like, "Hey, Lewisburg want to offer you." It's a small JUCO in Lewisburg, North Carolina. You know, it's too small, but to me, it was big because it was another opportunity for me to go out there and show what I could do. And I also had free access to a gym, a field, and that kept me moving around. That kept me productive. I don't know. I don't like to take naps. I don't know. I like to keep going. So my whole thing about it was okay. The Amazon was just a process. You know, I felt like it was a process because like this is not where I want to be. This is where I'm not comfortable, and that's where when I say being available for yourself, you got to know what you want to do, and you got to know what you got to do to get there. So I went to Lewisburg. You know, all I had to do was get my GPA up, my grades up. You know, got that up first 2 semesters. You know, and then I came to East Carolina. I went to East Carolina Prospect Camp where you ran the 40, the broad jump, vertical, etc. The same thing you do at the combine, but you know, at the end we had 1-on-1. So what they did was they liked what they seen. I was long, I was fast, I was a little smaller than I am now. They offered me had a 2.0 at around that time. I'm not afraid to say it because a lot of kids, I want a lot of kids to know that it's not where you start. It's not how you began. It's how you finish. You know what I mean? You got to keep working. You know, just because you hit one bump, one bump in your road, don't mean your job is done. You got to accept those challenges. You know, and a lot of people say you got to be comfortable being uncomfortable. You know what I mean? You got to put yourself in the positions in order to grow. And so that's what I did was I got through that JUCO. You know, got that 2.0. They offered me that day. Went back to school. Um, all I had to do was get a 2.5 or higher. But, you know, I exceeded that. You know, I said, okay, they want a 2.5. I'm going to give them a 2.8. Or I might give them a 3.0. But, like, anything to keep me away from that, you know. And I always said to myself when I was at Lewisburg, I was like, if I can make a C, I can make a B. If I can make a B, I can make an A. And that's just kind of how I just grew into it and just kept working. You know, so I learned from my mistakes or the lesson I had my ninth and 10th grade year, you know, not feeling like I won't ever be able to play football again or feeling that low of myself ever again. So just taking that into the future and for the kids, for the youngins, you know, your road ain't gonna stop. But I will say, go at your own pace, like win your own race. You know, you ain't gotta live your life based on what you see on social media and stuff like that. So keep listening to the old folks, and that's what I did. Listen to the old, listen to the old. They ain't really telling you nothing wrong unless you got something else on the side, you know. But I mean, I take I think Shamar, whoever y'all here told over there, I took a little few key points from them, and instilled it inside of my life, and it works. So I'm here now. So I'm grateful.
That's awesome. How cool is that? Very cool stuff. Now, do we have any Texas Longhorn fans in here? You know, I figure there's probably a couple, and there's a couple Aggies in here too. I heard it. Jaden Blue, Texas Longhorn running back, went to a couple college football playoffs. You got to play for Tashard Choice, one of the former Dallas Cowboys running backs, and he's already been very complimentary of you and the other guys that were in that room. I mean, how prepared are you for this moment, knowing that you played with other guys like Bijan and like Roshan and some of these other guys that have had success in the league, and you got to learn from a former Dallas Cowboy and Tashard Choice?
Yeah, like you said, the good thing is I had a coach that's been done there and played it. So that's my guy, man. He's helped me with a lot of things. You know, he's made me a better player and a better person off the field. So, you know, I give him a lot of credit. He's helped me get through a lot of adversity that I've been through and I'll be there. Our relationship was really tight, and he's a guy that I can go to at any time I'm going through something. So, yeah, he's helped me become the person I am today. And, you know, with the guys that's in the league now that played ahead of me at Texas, they also helped me in a big way. I followed their lead. You know, they were not only great football players, but great guys. So, yeah, I give Coach Choice and those guys a lot of credit because, you know, I don't think I would be here today if it wasn't for them.
Yeah, Tashard, he's a great person, great man. He was a former teammate of mine myself. So I know he's gotten you prepared for the National Football League and being here in the Dallas Cowboys. So early on, I know it's early, it's OTAs, I got mini camp next week and all that good stuff. But is there anything that surprised you, or is there anything that you've learned so far about being a Dallas Cowboy?
running backs that are in the NFL yet since you were drafted and
Yeah, I have.
gotten the pull from?
I've talked to all of them still. Talked to Bijan, I talked to JB the other day. Just trying to get him some great words of wisdom, to get through his injury again. Talked to Keelan some, and